think you're lazy. You're not. You think you need discipline. You don't. You're stuck in a procrastination pattern you don't even recognize. And once I show you which one, nobody tells you about procrastination. There are 7 types, and you're trapped in at least one of them right now. That project you've been avoiding for weeks? That task sitting in your to-do list collecting dust? That dream you keep saying you'll start tomorrow? It's not random. It's a specific pattern, and the reason every productivity hack fails you is because you're trying to fix the wrong problem. So today, I'm showing you all 7 types, and when you see yours, you'll finally understand why you're stuck. Let's go. Type 1, the perfectionist. And before you say, "That's not me, I'm a mess," listen. This isn't about being organized. This is about not starting until everything is perfect. You need the right plan, the right tools, the right moment when inspiration hits and you can do it properly. So what do? You research, you prepare, you watch tutorials, you reorganize your workspace, and somehow 3 weeks pass and you haven't actually started. Here's the psychological trap. You're not preparing to succeed, you're pre-failing. Because if you never start, you never have to face the gap between your perfect vision and your actual ability. Procrastination protects your ego. It keeps you safe from reality. And here's the cruelest part. When you finally do start under deadline pressure, when perfectionism isn't an option anymore, you actually produce good work, which proves you never needed perfect conditions, you just needed the excuse to die. But that's just surface level. Type 2 gets darker, and if this is you, you're gonna feel this one.
Type 2, the avoider. This is the most honest type because there's no pretense. The task makes you feel something uncomfortable. Anxiety, boredom, inadequacy, dread, and your brain will do literally anything else to not feel that feeling. So you clean, you scroll, you answer messages from 2 weeks ago. You suddenly develop a passionate interest in organizing your photos. Anything but the thing. Avoidance feeds on itself. The longer you avoid something, the more dread builds around it in your mind, which makes it harder to start, which means you avoid it even longer. The task grows fangs. It becomes a monster. That's why you have tasks sitting on your list for weeks that would actually take 15 minutes. It's not the task that's hard, it's the emotional weight you've piled on top of it. You've turned a simple action into a psychological battleground. Now, type 3 sounds positive. It sounds productive, but it's the most dangerous lie you tell yourself.
Type 3, the optimist. You genuinely believe you'll have more time later. In the future, you are going to be motivated, energized, disciplined, free of distractions. Present you? Not in the right headspace. But tomorrow you'll handle it. Except tomorrow, you tell yourself the same lie. And the next day, and the next. You keep making promises to your future self that your present self never keeps. You're not being realistic about your energy, your time, or your patterns. You're being optimistic, and that optimism is killing your progress. By believing you'll do it later, you get relief now. Your brain releases a small hit of dopamine from the promise of future action, so you feel better without doing anything. You're rewarding yourself for intention, not execution. The optimist also takes on way too much. 4 projects, 3 commitments, learning guitar, starting a business. In your mind, you have time for everything because you're imagining some fantasy version of yourself who doesn't exist. But wait, type 4 is where it gets personal because this one attacks your identity. Type 4, the rebel. You procrastinate specifically on things you're supposed to do. The second something feels like an obligation, you don't want to do it. Tasks other people expect, your brain revolts. Things you should do for your own good, suddenly repulsive. You can be incredibly productive on passion projects. Things you choose flow beautifully, but assigned tasks? Instant paralysis. And it doesn't matter if the task is objectively easy or beneficial. If it smells like someone else's agenda, your brain says no. This comes from growing up with too much external pressure. At some point, procrastination became your only form of control, your only way to say, "You can't make me." And now, even when nobody's forcing you, even when you set your own goals, your brain still responds to you with resistance. The insidious part? You're sabotaging your own dreams because they've been contaminated with obligation energy. Type 5 looks productive. You're busy, you're inspired, but you're not moving forward. And here's why.
Type 5 is the dreamer. You spend all your time planning, visualizing, researching. Imagine how great things will be when you finally start. You're not avoiding it, you're preparing, getting inspired, building the vision. You're getting the dopamine hit of accomplishment without doing the work. Your brain releases the same feel-good chemicals whether you imagine success or achieve it, so you're satisfying the craving without earning it. You're drugging yourself with fantasy. The dreamer loves starting things, new projects, new identities, new habits. The beginning is exciting, full of potential. But the middle? The boring, unglamorous middle where you actually have to execute and suck at something for a while? Suddenly, there's a shinier idea calling. You have 17 half-finished projects, a notes app full of brilliant ideas you'll definitely get to. You're not blocked, you're addicted to possibility because possibility is perfect and reality is hard. Type 6 is sneaky. It makes you look successful while keeping you stuck, and most people never catch it. Type 6, the busy procrastinator. You are productive, just on the wrong things. You answer every email, reorganize files, help 3 people, complete 5 small tasks, and at the end of the day, you're exhausted. You were so busy. But the big thing, the important thing, the thing that would actually move your life forward, untouched. This is procrastination in disguise, and it's the most socially acceptable form because you get to feel virtuous. You get to say, I worked hard today. And it's technically true, you just worked hard on things that don't matter. Small tasks give you immediate dopamine hits, quick wins, easy completions. The big project is ambiguous, risky, scary, so you prioritize urgency over importance because urgent feels productive and important feels terrifying. You're letting other people's emergencies run your life because it's easier than facing your own priorities. And now, type 7. This is the hardest one to watch because if this is you, you already know. You feel this every day. The paralyzed. You look at the task and feel pure overwhelm. Not just, this is hard, but I genuinely have no idea where to start and every option feels wrong. You're not avoiding discomfort, you're drowning in it. You've thought about the task so much, you've thought yourself into a corner, analyzed every angle, catastrophized every outcome, and now you're frozen. The gap between intention and action feels impossible to cross. This happens with tasks that are too big, too vague, or too connected to your self-worth. Sometimes it's decision paralysis because choosing one path means closing others. Sometimes it's your brain chemistry just not cooperating. Sometimes it's depression making everything feel pointless. The paralyzed wants to start desperately. You hate that you can't, but something in the system is genuinely stuck, and beating yourself up just adds shame to the paralysis, which makes it worse. This type needs the most compassion because this isn't about motivation or willpower. Something deeper is broken. So, did you see yourself? Maybe in one type, maybe in 3. Maybe you cycle through different patterns depending on the task. That's normal. But here's what changes everything. Now you know your pattern. You can't unsee it. And awareness is the first step to breaking free. Because you're not fighting procrastination anymore, you're fighting a specific psychological trap. And specific problems have specific solutions. The perfectionist needs to practice over perfection. The avoider needs to shrink the task until it feels manageable. The optimist needs to stop lying to future self. The rebel needs to reclaim choice. The dreamer needs to fall in love with execution. The busy procrastinator needs to protect the important. The paralyzed needs to start anywhere, even badly. You don't need more discipline. You need self-awareness. You need to see the game your brain is playing so you can stop losing to it.
So comment which type you are. Subscribe if this hit different. You just needed permission to begin imperfectly.